Call the West Mead Township December 2019 public meeting to order. Roll call.
Jordan?
Here.
Chartle?
Here.
Bovard?
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please note that all supervisors' public meetings are subject to public and/or private audio and video recording. Public comment on agenda items. Please note that public comment will also be received during each agenda item and at the end of the meeting. Having no public comment, we'll go ahead and proceed. I'll entertain a motion to approve the November 12th, 2019 study session and regular meeting minutes as presented.
I'll make that a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Chartle?
Yes.
Bovard?
Yes. I'll entertain a motion to accept the treasurer's reports for November 2019 and approve the payment of bills in the amount of $152,383.75, subject to audit.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Some of this is due to getting ready for winter, paying for some winter materials, and we had to buy some tires this year that aren't cheap. So we had to get some tires for putting everything we own here. Police vehicles needed tires, the dump trucks all needed tires, and it was stuff, quite a bit of stuff to get ready for winter. So,
And also included in that is a $40,000 repayment
Yes,
yes.
that was a big chunk of it.
for the new truck.
Yeah, which I hope everybody understands that we borrowed from ourselves and we're paying it back.
Right.
So,
Any additional discussion? Hearing none, roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Chartle?
yes.
Bovard?
Yes. Okay, we'll move on to the municipal reports. Police Chief Chip Brown.
Good evening. For the month of November, we received 66 complaints, with 61 of those being cleared. Time spent in the school zones was 4.5 hours, with 131 hours spent on traffic watch and patrol within the township. There was 84.5 hours spent in the office, 2 hours spent on arrest and processing, 71 hours spent on investigative time, 7 hours spent in court, 25 hours spent on miscellaneous time, meeting with different entities. There were 16 traffic stops for the month. 1 citation was issued for failure to stop for a school bus, and there were 15 warnings issued, 3 for speeding, 8 for faulty equipment, 1 for expired registration, 3 for high beam violations. There were 52 investigations, with 3 reportable and 3 non-reportable accidents. There were 3 complaints of animals. All 3 of those were car versus deer complaints. We assisted the road department once, assisted other police departments 4 times, assisted fire and EMS 3 times. We answered 1 residential alarm. We assisted citizens 3 times, disabled vehicles twice. We recovered 1 piece of stolen property. There was 1 call, request to speak to an officer. There were 2 check welfare calls, 1 911 hang-up call, and 1 house check was requested. Investigated 1 self-inflicted death investigation and 1 death of natural causes. 1 sexual assault. There were 5 DUI or DUID investigations, 4 drug investigations, 2 controlled substance, 1 drug paraphernalia, 1 arrest on an open outstanding warrant. There was 1 investigation, a theft by deception, and 2 fraud. 1 criminal mischief, 1 burglary, 3 thefts, 1 escape or fleeing and eluding, 1 criminal conspiracy, 5 domestic disturbance calls, 2 terroristic threat calls, 1 trespassing, 1 harassment, 1 public drunk, 1 underage drinking, 2 suspicious vehicle calls, 1 retail theft, and 2 behavioral calls. There were 5 felony arrests for the month, 9 misdemeanor arrests, and 4 summaries. The felony were burglary, theft of unlawful taking, which was firearms, theft by deception, theft by receiving stolen property, and criminal conspiracy. Under the misdemeanor arrest, there was criminal mischief with property damage between $1,000 and $5,000, breaking into a structure for criminal trespass, the 5 DUI arrests, and 2 drug arrests. Under summaries, there was harassment, minors prohibited to have any alcohol, public drunk, and purchasing alcohol being underage. Total mileage of all vehicles was 2,586 miles for the month.
Okay, any questions for Chief Brown?
Hey, Chip, everything that we had for the fair, is that cleared up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, nothing outstanding from any fair calls or time.
Yeah, thank you, Chip. John with the road report?
From November 13th through today, we actually had 6 days of winter maintenance, which was plowing, salting, or applying anti-skid to the roads. We spent quite a bit of time on opening plugged ditches and culverts, mainly because of leaves and the wind and whatnot. We are still currently vacuuming leaves on both sides of the township. We are trying to finish up. We will still have to do ditches for ourselves, so my suggestion is if there's anybody out there that has something that was missed or needs to be hit again, give the girls a call. And, you know, we're still on the same schedule. Monday, Tuesday on the south side of 27, Wednesday, Thursday on the north side of 27, and then Friday is just a floater day. But we're winding down here pretty quick, so we really need you. If you got something, give us a call, because and if they're bagged up, we'll pick those up as well. We also had quite a bit of repair work to our road signs, road post, and the stoplights. And we also finished winterizing some of our summer equipment, getting it ready to put away for the winter. We have done a complete service to some of the equipment, 2 of the trucks, the JCB backhoe. I mean, this is a complete service where we change every filter, all the oil, and we try to go through those after they've been, you know, used hard all summer long. And our goal is to try to get the rest of them finished up here, hopefully before the end of the month. And today, actually, we were cutting some shoulders and ditching, and on Leslie Road, Limber Road, Martin Street, and then we had some ditches to continue to open up yet. And we also still have some that we need to get to tomorrow. And for a plan for the winter here, depending on the weather, we're going to try to get into cutting some brush, DeVore Road, Springs Road Extension, Williamson Road, and Tamarack. Now, I know we won't get all of those because brush cutting goes extremely slow, but we're going to shoot for DeVore just in case we can go through with a paving project there this year. So that's our month.
Okay, any questions for John? Okay, thank you. Jill with the zoning report, or lack of a zoning report?
We didn't have any building permits issued in the month of November. I have been working with MDIA, our third-party inspection agency. We're trying to final up a lot of certificate of occupancies and some of those issues, plus we're doing property maintenance violations. So we've got a number of those that we're working on.
I know I had some concerned residents, Jill, down on Oak Grove Avenue, and I know that we managed to get that one property sold, and I guess it's for sale again now, but there's some other areas down there that I know that there's some concerned residents that.
And that's some of them we're working on.
Okay.
So, yep.
Just
Maybe. I mean, I'll check with you, but
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Move on to the business portion of the meeting. Item number 1 is to review the proposed 2020 budget. We're going to hold a budget hearing for final review of the proposed 2020 budget. Jill, would you just like to review maybe the Cliff Note version of the highlights?
I think the highlight version is, we did increase the LST collections from $10 to $52 last year for, we were kind of the last holdout, going from $10 to $52 for those working in the township. But this budget does not have a real estate tax increase, so there is no tax increase coming up in 2020. So that's probably the main thing to address. In our general fund, we're looking at having a carryover of $83,719. Total receipts coming in at $1,288,143, and then total expenses going out of $1,369. I'm sorry, $1,369,800. So we anticipate a fund balance carryover at the end of 2020 being $2,062. So, yeah, that's for our general fund. State liquid fuels, we anticipate a fund balance carryover of $160,805. Total receipts coming in, that's the liquid fuels funds, coming in for $238,015. Expenses going out of $398,820. We anticipate contract work being the majority of our liquid fuels fund. Just what John was talking about, the road work, hopefully we can do some good paving projects. Capital Reserve Act 13 gas funds will have $4,424. We just carry that fund balance over. We're trying to add to it to make, so we can expend it, you know, kind of on a bigger item maybe. So we'll leave, that has nothing coming in or going out.
Just some interest.
Yeah, just a little bit of interest. The Capital Reserve Fund, that's normally the $2,285,000. Well, we borrowed some from ourselves, but we have paid back $40,000 this year. So we're looking at the $2,125,000 with total receipts coming in of $80,000, expenses going out of $40,000 for $2,165,000. And then the Capital Reserve Interest Fund will have receipts at the end of this year for $61,244, total receipts of $40,100, total expenses of $40,000. So it looks like we'll have $61,344 in that account at the end of 2020. So all in all, it looks okay as long as we make sure and keep our expenses and keep in check with everything.
And now that we're back on track with PennDOT, that helped a little
Yes, it
bit
did.
too, because, and it's good to have that back, because I think that's the right way to do business, to tell you the truth. And I think they think that as well.
For our winter services
Right,
contract.
right,
So, yep,
right.
yep, that was very nice.
And I know that we have to sit down yet with PennDOT to crunch some other things on our agility program, and they want to make sure that everybody's being treated fair, and I think that they have some ideas on how to make it better for us. So I'm looking forward to sitting down with them and getting that ironed out. So probably do that after the first of the year.
Okay. I think too, well, I kind of forgot this, but we've been working on the federal highway grant funding. There's a lot more involved than just a normal paving project like we're used to. But that will be some funding, you know, coming in for Allegheny Street and portions of Leslie Road.
Yeah.
So that's something that we anticipate happening in 2020 also.
Jill, when are they going to let that project go up for bid?
I don't know. The city of Meadville has some also, so I'm not quite sure.
Will that be-
It was my understanding they were doing some of it before the end of this year, and I don't think
Well,
that
that's why I was
happened.
going to ask, is that going to be one package?
Well,
No, it has to be two separate,
has to
because
be
we're
two separate.
considered a separate entity.
Okay,
but we're still trying to do it time frame wise together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So hopefully the numbers will be better for us all, maybe.
So we're working on, we've got the final agreement. I went back and forth with her today. I have some questions for you, John, for traffic control. Are we going to put extra stop signs, or, what you want to do for some of the time frame? They want to know some of
Well, we
those
may
questions.
need to go back to that four-way stop on Leslie and Dixon for that particular project. Because that's
okay.
where that's gonna start, and it'll go clear to, well, it'll go to Limber Road in our portion of Leslie.
just Dixon though, don't go to
Correct.
27. It doesn't go that, don't pick
No, it
up
goes from Dixon,
Dixon to Limber.
yeah, and then the city's portion will pick up from
Limber
Limber to
to-
86.
Right,
And then the Allegheny, you know that, because they put all the new curbs in there.
Right.
That street will get it.
but that does incorporate ours too,
Yes,
down through
yes,
there.
yes.
Which one they didn't, why they couldn't stretch that clean over to
At least 77.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean,
Well, it's because of the way the road's designated a federal highway, and that's why.
oh yeah, I
It doesn't
understand.
make sense to us, but,
No, I know it.
you
I
know,
mean,
yeah. Yeah,
So,
common
okay.
sense side of it.
Yeah.
is- yeah.
Yes, I'd just like to add that the 2020 proposed budget as compared to the proposed budget we had for 2019, the general fund, we're increasing budgeted income by almost $84,000. We're budgeting anticipated expenses, almost an increase of almost $140,000. And just like to remind our residents and our business owners that we are very conservative. We like to underestimate income and overestimate expenses so that we can live within our means and not run into any kind of financial difficulties in the upcoming calendar year. So that being said, is there any public comment? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to adopt Resolution 2019-14, adopting the 2020 budget, and Resolution 2019-15, setting the real estate tax millage for 2020 at 4.25 mils.
I'll second that motion.
I'll make the motion.
Oh, I thought you made the, I thought
I
you.
entertained the motion.
Oh, whatever.
John made the motion, Mike seconded. Discussion on the motion.
Well, the only thing that I'll say, I know every year this gets tighter and tougher, but the 4.25 mils is something that we've been able to try to hang on to for quite a while, and I know it's been a number of years, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know how many more years we can continue unless, things get better someplace else, because I know the increased cost in doing business around here with fuel and tires and equipment and.
But even your materials.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
your
mean-
paving, and it's gonna be, we'll see what the oil prices are come this spring when these projects come out to bid. Well, that's gonna be the telltale,
We have some roads, Mike, and you know that yourself, you've looked at them every day. But we've got some roads that we've got to get some better conditions, and we've been Band-Aiding for
Oh,
a
God.
number of years. And sooner or later, you've got to do something more substantial, more permanent. And you get into some of this intense stuff such as milling and full depth reclamation type restorations to a road. It's expensive. I mean, I can remember when we did Liberty Street, just the lower portion of Liberty Street was almost $200,000. And that's a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile of road.
Yeah.
So, do the math if you do the whole street. So, you're looking at $500,000
Well,
to
and
do
and
a
what
mile of
happens
road.
is that you're thinking, I got this road in good shape, well, next thing you know, it's 10 years and it's ready to have something done, and you're still
Yeah,
playing catch-up with all the other roads in the
Right.
township, so,
yeah.
listen, there's no sense of fooling yourself. There's some of these rural roads, I know they're only oil and chip, but the only other alternative is they go to dirt roads, and I don't think people want to go to that. We've worked long and hard to keep our roads that we don't have to play in the mud. And if people have never lived on a dirt road, like yesterday, go out and drive one of those and see what your vehicles look like when and it's just in the dust in the summertime, it's a struggle.
Well, I'll say this, your father brought us out of the dirt road
It was a
program 30 years ago, and I'll be doggone if I let it go back to that.
No,
we
it
have-
was terrible.
It was an awful way to, and dirt roads, for what you pay for a vehicle today, they're just, you've got to give back as much as you can, but I'm just saying, it worries me that we're going to be able to hold that 4 1/4 on the millage.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do some things to update some stuff, and, it's tough to do it, but I don't know. Well, going forward, I just hope we can maintain, and, but we need to update some roads. So,
I know last year was my first opportunity to participate in the budget, and I know that going in, we thought it was going to be very, very tight, and according to the budgeted numbers, it was, but we've done a really good job this year of holding the line on expenses, and the revenues have been higher than we budgeted, so, we're looking pretty good right now. And if that holds true for 2020, we should be okay.
Yep.
And to just add to the discussion regarding the roads, I know Mike has brought up the suggestion that we conduct a township road tour in the spring, and I'm all in favor of doing that. So that's something we'll probably be lining up on a Saturday morning sometime in late March, early April.
we'll use the side-by-side with a police escort.
Is there any other discussion regarding the motion to adopt
No.
those resolutions? Roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Chartle?
Yes.
Bovard?
Yes. Okay, that's all we have for regular meeting business tonight. I would like to note that our organizational meeting will be on January 6th, 2020 at 5 PM, followed by the regular monthly meeting. Is there any public comment? Okay, supervisors, final comment for 2019.
I just like to wish everybody happy holidays and a good 2020. And just be careful out there this holiday season. Watch your drinking and driving, and be cautious because we are coming on winter now. We've been very fortunate. We've only had a taste of it a couple times, but lo and behold, it's coming. So be careful out there and enjoy your holiday season. And we'll see you next year.
I'd like to just echo the same thing Mike said, and just remind people that we've got a day or two here of bad weather possibly coming towards us, some slippery roads. We'll be out and full force, and we're ready. And I'd just like to say thank you to the residents of West Mead Township for having enough faith in me to put me back in here for another 6 years. And I will do as much as I possibly can to continue to keep West Mead going in a positive direction. And I believe with the staff and the board that we have here, I think we have a good combination of people. And we're always open for suggestions. So that's all I have, Donnie.
Okay. Well, on behalf of all of us here at West Mead Township, I'd like to wish all of our residents, business owners, and visitors to the township a very happy, very safe, very joyous, very Merry Christmas, and a very happy, safe, and prosperous 2020. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Chartle?
Yes.
Bovard?
Yes.
I almost said Rosenberg.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you very much. Good night.